Welcome to a high-energy recap of a masterclass in the business of alcohol and hospitality. Today, host Nikhil Kamath is joined by a powerhouse panel of industry titans who are reshaping how India drinks. We are hearing from Minakshi, who is the co-founder of the world-renowned bar Sidecar and a pioneer in Indian mixology. Joining her is Suraj, the founder of Goa Brewing Company and a leading voice in the craft beer movement. We also have Suchir, the founder of the Gin Explorers Club and a specialist in alcohol marketing and events. Finally, we are joined by Abhishek, an executive at Radico Khaitan and a legend who transformed a local distillery into a global spirits empire. The conversation kicks off with Minakshi sharing her journey from hotel management at I-H-M Pusa to the front lines of the bar scene. She explains that she fell in love with the social element and technical art of bartending in her second year of college, despite it being seen as a blue-collar job at the time. According to Minakshi, bartending is a complex mix of technical skill and sociability, where well-groomed presence is essential for hygiene and professional appeal. However, she faced a massive hurdle when she discovered that women were legally barred from bartending in several Indian states. Building on that challenge, she spent years working for multinational giants like Diageo and Pernod Ricard before finally launching her first bar in a Gurgaon basement. This eventually led to the creation of Sidecar, which has been ranked the #1 bar in India for 3 consecutive years. Shifting gears to the world of beer, Suraj describes his roots in Goa and his early career with Kingfisher and Pernod Ricard. He recounts a pivotal moment on a transatlantic flight where he discovered a green can of Indian Pale Ale, or IPA, which completely changed his perspective on quality. Suraj explains that the IPA style was originally developed by the British to survive long sea voyages to India by increasing alcohol and hop content. This inspiration led him to start Goa Brewing Company, where he focuses on all-natural ingredients and small batch production. He points out that while a commercial beer might cost 50 rupees for a small bottle, his craft beer retails at 90 rupees to reflect the superior quality and craftsmanship. In a similar vein, Suchir discusses the marketing and experiential side of the industry. He began organizing events at 17 years old and eventually joined mentorship under Roshan Abbas to learn the corporate side of the business, including taxation and vendor management. Suchir notes that he founded the Gin Explorers Club, or GEC, to create a carnival-like atmosphere that brings brands and consumers together. Furthermore, he highlights that while the whiskey market remains dominant in India, niche categories like tequila are growing 3 times faster than other segments among affluent circles. He also emphasizes that the Indian market is often dark, meaning traditional advertising is restricted, and success relies on clever brand positioning and community building. Providing the perspective of a legacy player, Abhishek tells the story of Radico Khaitan, which his family took over in 1973. He joined the business at 22 years old when the company had a turnover of 70 crore rupees, but a liability of 50 crore rupees. Abhishek describes how he rebranded the company and launched 8PM Whiskey, which became the first brand to sell 1 million cases in its first year. Building on that success, he later launched Magic Vodka, which now holds 60% of the market share in India. According to Abhishek, the key to a successful brand is a combination of a great blend and innovative packaging that consumers are proud to display on their tables. He also details the launch of Rampur Single Malt, which has become a prestigious Indian product, retailing for over $100 per bottle internationally. As the experts dive deeper into the industry landscape, they discuss the sheer scale of the Indian market. Abhishek estimates the hard liquor market at $50 billion, while the beer market stands at around $12 billion. Suraj observes that India is unique because it is heavily over-indexed on hard liquor compared to other tropical countries like Vietnam.
This is attributed to the psychology of the urban workforce, where people often seek a quick release after a long and taxing day. While discussing the social impact, the panel agrees that moderation is key and that alcohol has a historical and cultural place in society that cannot be ignored. Turning to advice for the next generation of entrepreneurs, the group outlines a clear roadmap for starting a liquor company. Suchir suggests that the first step for any founder is to spend time in supermarkets and bars to observe consumer trends and shelf movements. Building on that, Suraj recommends that aspiring brewers start small at home with a kitchen sink kit for as little as 5,000 rupees to perfect their recipe before scaling up. Minakshi and Abhishek explain that you do not necessarily need to build a distillery from scratch, which can be incredibly expensive. Instead, they suggest using a co-packer or a bottler to manufacture your brand while you focus on the recipe and marketing. Furthermore, the panel highlights the importance of finding the right consultants and blenders. They note that many retired experts from companies like Diageo or Pernod Ricard are available to help young founders develop world-class spirits. Abhishek points out that success in this industry requires immense patience because building the first 10,000 loyal consumers is the hardest part of the journey. He stresses the importance of monitoring retail offtake rather than just pushing stock to distributors. As a final takeaway, the experts encourage young people to look into ancillary opportunities like mixers or craft tonics, pointing out that even the classic gin and tonic has its historical roots in India. Thank you for listening to this recap of a fascinating discussion on the grit and glamour of the liquor trade. Whether you're an aspiring brand owner or just a fan of a good cocktail, these insights from India's top experts provide a clear path forward in a fast-growing market. See you next time.